Derby, Derby, Giacomo, Giacomo, it doesn't matter which way you pronounce it, they're a winner. Giacomo got the money, Giacomo, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Jesse, but welcome to the Wednesday preview. I'm your host, Troy Alnick. I'm joined this week by Jesse Earnshaw. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Troy. Always a pleasure to be here, filling in for James, who's on a much-deserved holiday.
Yeah, no James, so we'll have to see how we go. We'll be flying by the seat of our pants on this one, but Giacomo, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Jesse. I think you might have pronounced it correctly, Giacomo.
But
when you're running those sort of times and winning,
well,
you can call you what you like.
Exactly, as long as the money goes into the bank account.
What a win in the Derby, same thing. You can pronounce that how you like as well. But blew the lids, held out the favourite, and was just too good.
It was impressive, and the run in the heats before was probably, I'd say, even a better run. He sat 3 deep the whole trip and still went 27.44 running down Patterson Road, who's no slouch. So looking forward to seeing what he can do at Cannington in the free-for-all.
Speaking of which, let's have a look at that field now as we bring it up. Giacomo's drawn the 3. We see fellow Derby finalist Ripon Moses drawn the red again. Can he take advantage of that? Wise Barra's drawn the 5. Bezecchi, a greyhound who we know has not got the best box manners at the moment, but absolutely storming home.
Hasn't he been impressive his last 2? That run in the Sand Groper Consolation, the Sun Chaser, when he's pushed his way through the pack, and he defeated Miss Envy last week in really quick time.
Yeah, I think the Consolation race, he sort of caught me. Well, I expected that a little bit because smaller field, he's going to get into the race. But the Miss Envy run last week, to run her down was phenomenal. I thought that was a really good race. But full field's got to get through the actual competitors here if he doesn't begin, and that's going to be his biggest challenge for mine. Giacomo. If you're running those sort of times, what can it produce here, do you reckon?
Oh, you'd think it's more than capable of a 29.6, 29.7 run if he lobs on the arm. First look at race conditions at Cannington's probably the question mark, but we saw in the Mandurah Derby final improved a lot when he ran second up at the track.
Yeah, no doubt. I reckon being in the Britain Kennel, this greyhound would have seen the track. They would have trialled here. I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, but I reckon this greyhound would have had a run. So I said last week in the final, I reckon this greyhound was the one that had the most upside for improvement off the heat run. I think it's going to be the same. Whatever we see in the free-for-all run on Saturday night, I think come Derby heat night, we're going to see probably even a more improved run again, just because this greyhound's learning and finding his way on the track. Ripon Moses from the red in the free-for-all, what do you think there?
It's a very handy boxer to have in those open class races. He's more than capable. He's really coming of age. Ever since that Perth Cup Carnival, we've really seen the best of Ripon Moses. Shimmer Dream, wasn't that brilliant a couple of weeks back? 29.41, leading all the way over the 5.20, something I certainly did not expect. Giacomo, we've talked about, is coming into this race with really good form through that Mandurah Derby series. Wise Barra's probably a bit awkwardly drawn with rare speed on her outside, who does like to use the fence.
Wise Barra's one of those greyhounds that we talk a lot about on this show, and when we tip it, it gets beaten. When we don't tip it, it wins and comes out and produces terrific. Look, we've spoken a lot about Giacomo, but let's just have a look at that replay of last week's Derby win and see how impressive it really was.
Racing, Iconic Jet began well, so did Giacomo. Ripon Moses third, wide out going forward, Sunset Worm, and then West on Coal, Patterson Road, Formula Fun, Echoes of Dad, Giacomo the inside, a length away Iconic Jet, there's your Quinella, 10 lengths away to West on Coal, Giacomo 2 lengths, Iconic Jet not doing enough for the moment, Giacomo clear, trying hard Iconic Jet, but Giacomo.
Yeah, Jesse, Giacomo, very impressive. We've spoken about him already, but he's got pace, he's got a bit of strength about him, can run time, he's an impressive young chaser. But there are a few in this race that we've already spoken about. Rare Speed was one that was going well leading up to the Perth Cup Series, probably not going in as strong a form at the moment as what it was then. And Spooky Hook's another one, interesting one. It showed pace the other week, but didn't quite run it out as strongly as we probably expected.
But he has won this sort of grade before in the past at Cannington, so I must respect those sort of form lines.
We do. So, interesting race. One to maybe look at some of the form with Ripon Moses, Giacomo heading into the WA Derby, a series I love and cannot wait for. Another big race on the card, Jesse, that we've got to talk about is the Distance Potential Final. Some interesting runs here. None more than the quickest heat winner, Vinales, and let's have a look at that replay right now.
Racing. Away nicely is Vinales with Soul Jacker, and Panadero Magic is back on the inside, and just behind them is Argyle Jess. 4 lengths away, West on Ace, Cool Shimmer, then Quick Lands, and tailed off last Pepper Grinder. Going into the back straight though, and doing it well at the moment. Out in front is Vinales, leading by 4 lengths. Second is Argyle Jess. 1.5 away is Panadero Magic. Trying to run on is West on Ace up to the turn, and Vinales in front. Argyle Jess trying to cut it down. It's coming hard. Vinales has got the lead. Argyle Jess can't get there, and Vinales all the way by 2 to Argyle Jess.
There we have it. Vinales winning in 34.39, leading all the way over the 600 metres, setting out some outstanding sectionals in that race. There was another heat, and that was taken out by Lone Shark in 34.56. We'll have a quick look at the box draw. Lone Shark in the red, West on Ace 2, Page 1 News 3, Vinales 4, All About Coal 5, Vista Cadmium 6, Panadero Magic 7, Argyle Jess in 8. Troy, it's a very interesting race.
Yeah, it is. Page 1 News set up a nice pace early, and
Expect her to lead on Saturday night?
So I think you probably have to. Lone Shark was impressive too. I thought he was a good run. It's going to be a very interesting final. I'm not sure where I fully sit yet. I probably need to think about this one a little bit more, to be honest. I'm not sold on anyone completely. Do you have a leaning?
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards Lone Shark off the inside draw. I think Page 1 News will lead, and Vinales, I don't think he can come from behind and run those sort of outstanding times. There's a little bit of pace from box 7 in Panadero Magic, and Western Ace, who's drawn on Lone Shark's inside, likes to use a little bit of the track, so I think he's going to get all the room in the world. He can sit a couple lengths off Page 1 News, and he's awfully strong. I think he's going to be a super stayer in the future, and we've got some strong staying depths through the ranks at the moment.
Yeah, we certainly do. And look, Lone Shark was super impressive. He's drawn well. You just know Vinales, when he gets the right run, he can really put into a big effort. So, interesting race there. I've said it before many times, and I'll say it again. If you like something in this race, have a play, because it's one of those races that could throw up something unusual. We might get a bit of value, but yeah, Lone Shark, Vinales for mine. Now, let's talk about, we spoke about Derby. Let's talk about Oaks, Mandurah Oaks.
For the girls.
For the girls. An incredible couple of heats we saw down at Mandurah on Friday night. None more impressive than heat winner Next Thing You Know. And let's have a look at the replay of that now.
Racing. First away, Nala Patanga. Federal Focus. Next Thing You Know are bursting through now, and they head off Nala Patanga. Fourth is Star Zito. Fast Bite, fifth, wide and trying to get going. And then Sunset Buckles, Send Me Roses dropped out. Next Thing You Know, a length and a half over Federal Focus. 5 away to Fast Bite, winding up now. Next Thing You Know, wobbled deep. Trying hard, Federal Focus. Fast Bite's flying late, but Next Thing You Know.
Well, there was Next Thing You Know taking out a heat of the Oaks. Let's have a look at the box draw for the final. Graceful Rain in the red. Next Thing You Know in the 2. Sunset Oyster in the 3, West on Nocky 4, Fast Bite in the 5, Simple Sally 6, Rosie Brown 7, and Federal Focus in the 8. Jesse, Next Thing You Know, very, very impressive. But I also thought Federal Focus with a good run in its seat as well.
And Fast Bite, she ran second and was the second fastest qualifier behind Next Thing You Know. But to come off a maiden over the 400 metres and run 22.3 and then go straight up to the 488s in open class company, although age restricted, was an outstanding training performance, but an outstanding run, and just to prove that the dog's ready to take that next step into open company.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this dog last week, and I raised it as one of the ones to follow. Its early pace over the 400 was impressive. I think it was around a 6:26 or something, which was very good in that 400 race, or quali, I should say. I can't remember if it was quali or a race now.
No, in the maiden.
It was in a maiden, yes.
Did qualify over the 488 and
I
was
think it
only
ran
fair 27.8 or 27.9. So there was a lot of improvement from that first up effort.
I think that's where I'm getting confused between the race and the quali, but yeah. But interesting runners. Fast Bite, I agree with you. Good run second. Had to come from a wide draw, and was only beaten really by Next Thing You Know, who was often gone on the arm. So great heat there. Is there anything else that stood out to you out of the heat?
So the two other heat winners were Sunset Oyster in 27.44 and West on Nocky in 27.45. Box draw makes things a little bit interesting. Graceful Rain does show a little bit of pace and wants to use a bit of the track. West on Nocky could probably say the same thing. So the only real definites, Fast Bite's probably going to be at the back of the field, and Next Thing You Know up on pace.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think the map's going to map out very similar. So I think next thing you know, it's race to lose in some respect. But I do have a healthy respect for Federal Focus. I thought the run was quite good. And I just think if there's a bit of trouble on the inside and it's getting around the outside, it could make it an interesting race. But next thing you know, it looks to be a very big talent on the rise, with such a short career already and running into a race like this. It's a big effort and a great training effort, like you mentioned. So one to keep an eye on. I'm going to stick with next thing you know. Who are you going to tip?
Next thing you know, I think it looks very hard to beat.
We're seeing eye to eye. I'm liking this so far. Also on the card, we've got a free-for-all, which is, we speak many times on this show about the depth of our 400 sprinters and how good they really are. This is no exception. We'll bring up the field now. Sunset Nightjar in the red. Sunset Ali in the 2, Bala Ace in the 3, Diva Eradicator in the 4, Farmer Russell 6, Surf the Sun 7, and Curious Georgia in the 8. Now, we saw the sprinters played at Cannington last week. Let's have a quick look at that replay and watch Sunset Nightjar get the job done.
Obsessed Much flew out and leads early on from Sunset Nightjar, going to a strong second from Diva Eradicator, paid in full. Benson, what a ripper. Making ground Sunset Ali, and last of all Must See. The leader is Obsessed Much, but finishing hard Sunset Nightjar the outside. Running on strongly Benson the inside. In front Obsessed Much, but Sunset Nightjar's got it. Race to the front and Sunset Nightjar.
So Sunset Nightjar winning the Sprinters Plate. It was a pretty strong final, Jesse, and you probably know plenty about that. You were in the race. What do you think?
Oh, it was just fantastic. Credit to Obsessed Much, who stuck on really well. I thought it was a little bit disappointing in the heats, but I backed it up with a good run off box number 1. If it was 30 metres short, I would have gotten the job done. But all credit to Sunset Nightjar, fantastic through the whole series. Second in the heat, first in the final. So he's done well, and Sunset Ali was another one who came through that series as well, who nearly broke the track record over the 381 now in one of those heats.
You can't forget that extra 1 metre.
No, it makes a difference.
It does. Yeah, look, interesting race this one in the free-for-all. Bala Ace, greyhound that's just been in brilliant form, early pace, strong. Surf the Sun, Mr. Consistent out wide. He's always thereabouts.
And he likes the wide draw as well.
He does. And then Curious Georgia, absolute pace dog, and we know she can absolutely fly early.
And don't discredit some of the things that Farmer Russell has done through lower graded races.
Absolutely not. So I wasn't discounting them at all. I was going to actually ask you about them, but it's just a chock-full talent race. Nightjar, Ali, even Diva Eradicator can run quick time. So it's a really strong free-for-all. It's really an open race. I would stick with Bala Ace just because this greyhound, I've got a bit of a fan for him.
With him, he's going to be out on speed early.
You're going to get the same from him, and a little bit like Surf the Sun, you know what you're going to get. Can Georgia cause the upset from out wide?
I think we've seen in the past between Bala Ace and Curious Georgia, you lean to the greyhound that's drawn on the inside, and with this week it's Bala Ace. Sunset Nightjar likes to use a bit of the track, same to a Sunset Ali, but they don't have that explosive box speed that Bala Ace does.
Yeah. I tend to agree. I'm sticking with Bala Ace. I think it's the one that gets the job done. It is such an open race, and I know I've already used it today, but if you like something, have a play, because there's going to be value in this race. There's no guarantee the favourite's going to get up, and with so many good dogs in the race, there's every chance that one of them could get up at a fair old price, and could make us very happy. So I'm going to stick with Bala Ace, just because I know what I'm going to get, and I like that greyhound a bit, and I've got a bit of a leaning to it.
And that's the way I've gone as well, Bala Ace as well.
Now let's hope we haven't gone the same way tonight. We are racing at Cannington tonight. First race 6:50pm. Free entry as always across all Greyhound WA venues. Jesse, who are you going with?
I like race 10, number 7, Our Boy Doug, at an each way sort of quote. Now, I think he could get around 320 a place. Happy to take that. He's back out of free-for-alls into a country graded 6 event. He's had 8 starts over the trip for 3 wins. I think he's more than capable of running a 15.8, 15.9. We have seen him break the 17-second barrier over the 300 metres at Mandurah.
Very nice. I'm going to go race 4, number 6, Bangor Tiger. And this greyhound's been freshened up, but its previous 2 runs were seconds running over this trip, 30.01, 30.06. That's a pretty good time in maiden class. I think it did it from a wide draw too, so box 6 should pose no problem tonight. The red was in the red last week and did set a good pace, and it did show good times over the 381 in the qualies, but didn't run it out as strong. And I think Bangor Tiger, he's showed us he's pretty strong at the end of the races, so I think whether he gets near the lead or he's coming off the pace a little bit, I think he can get the job done. So that's race 4, number 6, Bangor Tiger. Well, that's it for the week. A big week of racing and chasing coming up, certainly none to be missed. If you can't get down to the venue, obviously check in next week for the Wednesday preview.